Good morning, friends, and happy day. I'm Xavier, and it's time for the Morning Roundup. I do this little newscast Monday through Friday, and I try to pull the stories that have more of a spotlight for the Black community, and I try to do it in under 10 minutes. Well, before we get into today's news, a little housekeeping. The holidays are now over. Well, the holiday, but the time I thought I would have did not exist. So I have the news done for last week and some extra news dives. Once those are all done and edited, I will place it on a playlist. It was a wonderful holiday, but it is time to get back into it. Today is Monday, November 28th, 2022, and here's today's news just for you. First, from Hawaii. The world's largest active volcano, Mauna Loa, is erupting for the first time since 1984. The eruption in Hawaii Volcanoes National Park is not threatening downhill communities or flights to the island of Hawaii, but still, a trace to less than 1/4 inch of ashfall could accumulate on parts of the island as winds may carry fine ash and volcanic gas downwind. Reports of lava overflowing into the southwest portion of the volcano's caldera, or crater, have come into the Hawaii Volcano Observatory. There is no indication of a threat to nearby communities, and no evacuation orders have been issued. As a precaution, 2 shelters have opened, even as roughly half of recorded Mauna Loa eruptions remained in the summit area without threatening polluted areas. People with respiratory illnesses should remain indoors to avoid inhaling the ash particles, and anyone outside should cover their mouth and nose with a mask or a cloth. This is from the Honolulu office. Possible harm to crops and animals, minor equipment and infrastructure damage, reduced visibility, widespread cleanup may be necessary. Ashfall can damage vehicles and buildings, contaminate water supplies, disrupt sewage and electrical systems, and damage or kill vegetation, the Weather Service says, while abrasive volcanic ash can irritate eyes and lungs. The observatory said earlier that lava flows do not threaten downslope communities. Next, from Buffalo. The white gunman who massacred 10 black shoppers and workers at a Buffalo supermarket pled guilty today to murder and hate-motivated terrorism charges, guaranteeing that he will spend the rest of his life in prison. Peyton Gendron, who was 19, entered the plea today in a courthouse roughly only 2 miles from the grocery store where he used a semi-automatic rifle and body armor to carry out a racist assault he hoped would help preserve white power in the U.S. He pleaded guilty to all the charges in the grand jury indictment, including murder. Murder is a hate crime and hate-motivated domestic terrorism, which carries an automatic sentence of life without parole. Gendron also pleaded guilty to wounding 3 people who survived the May attack. Next, from Missouri, a federal judge has denied a request from a 19-year-old woman to allow her to watch her father's death by injunction, upholding a Missouri law that bars anyone under 21 from witnessing an execution. Kevin Johnson is set to be executed Tuesday for killing Kirkwood, Missouri police officer William McEntee in 2005. Johnson's lawyers have appeals pending that seek to spare his life. His daughter, Corey Ramey, has sought to attend the execution, and the American Civil Liberties Union had filed an emergency motion with the federal court in Kansas City. The ACLU's court filing said the age requirement served no safety purpose and violates Ramey's constitutional rights, but U.S. District Judge Brian C. Wimes ruled late Friday that Ramey's constitutional rights would not be violated by the law. I'm heartbroken that I won't be able to be with my dad in his last moments, Ramey said in a statement. My dad is the most important person in my life. He has been there for me my whole life, even though he's been incarcerated. Next up, Byron Allens HBCU Go signs first all-female broadcast team for 2022-2023 basketball season. Making a historic first, HBCU Go, the leading digital media platform for 107 historically black colleges and universities nationwide, will feature the first all-female broadcast team to announce games throughout the 2022-2023 basketball season. The newest team to lead basketball broadcast duties on the free streaming platform, launched a decade ago by media mogul Byron Allens, will include play-by-play announcer Laurentia Moten, Nicole Hutchinson as color commentator, and sideline host Courtney State, per Allen Media Group, which owns the Grio. The landmark announcement commemorates the 50th anniversary of 9, the groundbreaking education amendment that allowed women to participate equally in the same programs as their male counterparts, which took effect in 1972, as previously reported by the GRIO. The company additionally announced the launch of its latest weekly sports coverage program, HBCU Go Time, which will offer viewers HBCU-specific news and analysis about all things sports at historically Black schools across the country. Hosting the new program will be John Kelly, a longtime sports broadcast personality. HBCU Go Time first aired on Saturday, November 26th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. HBCU Go, billed as a cultural lifestyle destination and leading sports media provider that embraces and represents the voice of Black excellence, is available to stream on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, HBCUGo.tv, and through the HBCU Go app. HBCU Go is additionally available on broadcast television networks owned and operated by CBS, including Cox, Gray, Nexstar, Scripps, and more. For more information, including HBCU Go's full season basketball schedule, go ahead and check out the link I have down below. Next, from Nashville, a drive-by shooting in Nashville on Saturday injured 2 people as they and others were walking out of church from the funeral of a woman who was fatally shot earlier this month. This is according to police. Metro Nashville Police Department spokesperson Don Aaron said the afternoon shooting occurred outside New Season Church, where funeral service had just ended for 19-year-old Terriana Johnson. The hearse was parked out front with the rear door open, and people were filing out of the church as the shots began. Police say they are on the lookout for a black late model Honda Civic with a temporary tag from which one shooter or more fired as the car passed by, hitting an 18-year-old woman in the leg and a 25-year-old man in the pelvis. Neither were considered life-threatening injuries. Some attendees of the funeral services for Johnson, who was not a member of the church that was hosting, were armed and fired back at the car. Lastly, Oscar, Golden Globe, and 2-time Grammy-winning singer-actress Irene Cara, who starred and sang the title cut from the 1980 hit film Fame, and then belted out the era-defining hit Flashdance, What a Feeling, from 1983's Flashdance, has died. She was 63. Her publicist, Judith Moose, announced the news on social media, writing that a cause of death was currently unknown. Moose also confirmed the death to an Associated Press reporter on Saturday. Cara died in her home in Florida, and the exact day of her death was not disclosed. Irene's family has requested privacy as they process their grief. She was a beautifully gifted soul whose legacy will live forever through her music and films. During her career, Cara had 3 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, including Breakdance, Fame, and Flashdance, What a Feeling, which spent 6 weeks at number 1. She was behind some of the most joyful, high-energy pop anthems of the early 80s, including Out Here on My Own and Why Me. The New York-born Cara began her career on Broadway with small parts in short-lived shows, although a musical called The Me Nobody Knows ran over 300 performances. She toured in the musical Jesus Christ Superstar as Mary Magdalene in the mid-1990s, and a tour of the musical Flashdance toured 2012 to 2014 with her songs. She also created the all-female band Irene Cara Presents Hot Carnival and put out a double CD with the single How Can I Make You Love Me? Her movie credits include Sparkle and DC Cab. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Keep up with me on Instagram at The Morning Roundup. I also have another show called The Black Case Files, where I do more of a deep dive on murders, mysteries, conspiracies, and history, focusing on people of color. I will also be adding some news, in-depth stories on there as well. That show is always linked below, and I will see you tomorrow, friends. Bye.